What is up, everybody? Skratch coming up with another Raid Shadow Legends video. Welcome, everybody. Welcome to the channel. Hope you guys are having an amazing day, an amazing start of the week. Let me know in the comments down below, how are you guys doing? Today, we're gonna have a guide on the Celestial Griffin. We are on the second Doom Tower rotation, so expect to see a guide on the Eternal Dragon as well in the next couple of days. I know a lot of people might be struggling with these bosses, so I decided to make a couple of updated guides. I'm gonna show you multiple teams. I'm gonna share with you my team. I'm farming the Celestial Griffin on this rotation because I wanna improve my Guardian gear. That is a pretty solid set all around. So maybe a lot of you guys might be wondering, what should I farm this rotation, you know? So we're gonna show multiple teams. Now, if you guys enjoy the content, consider subscribing, smash that like. I really appreciate it. Plus, it helps me a lot. It helps the channel to grow. So I really appreciate if you will hit that subscribe button. Let's jump straight into it. So the Griffin, he can be a pretty tricky pony, right? He hits pretty hard. Funny enough, there are quite a few champions that can deal with the boss without having a massive problem. Now, this is Doom Tower hard mode, guys, okay? So expect to see slightly higher stats. So let's have a quick look at what this boss does. So with the skills, it's pretty straightforward, right? The A1 attacks one enemy, places a fear on one of our champions. Then with the A2 transfers all the debuffs from the Griffin to each enemy, then attacks, and it fills his turn meter. So you want to avoid debuffing this boss too much, okay? With the A3 removes all buffs from all enemies, then attacks all enemies. You want to avoid having too many buffs as well on your team, because the more buffs he removes, the more damage he deals. And the passive, this one, the first one at least, attacks an enemy when he drops under 50% HP. That's going to happen all the time. Plus, it lands heal reduction. The Skybond will increase his damage all around. You don't want to decrease his turn meter. Whenever you're decreasing his turn meter, he's going to decrease the turn meter of your entire team equal to the amount that was decreased from his own turn meter. So that can be pretty tricky. Now, this is one team that can be easily set up if you've been playing the game for a while. You don't need to have a Royal Guard in here. I just have him to kind of like allow me to farm this boss a bit faster. You don't really need to have Rask in here either if you have regeneration gear on Seal of the Drakes, if you have regeneration on Jarek, if you have it on Dragstar, because they're going to be able to kind of like sustain themselves. I remember it, I was talking a while ago with Isaac K and Agard, which are a couple of French content creators. If I'm not mistaken, Agard was saying that he can actually solo the boss with Seal of the Drakes alone, right? So you don't need to have anything else. If that's a problem, you can do it with Seal of the Drake and Dragstar. That's something that we're going to try in just a second. I'm just going to bring in a champion that will die maybe at the boss or something, or we're just going to let them go through it. It's just mainly to deal with the waves, you know? Those are kind of like a problem. Now, Rotos can solo the boss on lifesteal without a problem. He's going to wreck it. If you bring in a lot of magic champions, they're actually going to benefit you quite a bit, just for the simple fact that they have the strong affinity upper hand. So that's the team that we're going to try right now. If we're going to move over to round 3, Jarek is such a powerful champion, not only because he brings attack down. Attack down is a pretty important thing on this boss because he will ignore defense. He's going to deal so much damage, okay? So having attack down is pretty nice. Having strengthen, again, is a great buff to have on your team. Ally protection helps a lot. So we have Jarek right here, attack down. His passive is spot on. That's why we're not using a different attack down champion. The continuous heal that drops from this passive is super powerful to help the team a bit. Then we have the pack leader, ally protection, increased defense. They can benefit quite a bit. Seal of the Drake, she is on regeneration. You don't need to have so much resistance. I'm using her for many other things in the game, and still, this resistance is just an overkill, you know? 400 resistance will do the job, but you don't really need to have the resistance on the boss either, okay? So that's one thing to keep in mind. You can prioritize more HP instead of the resistance. Royal Guard we definitely do not want to use this skill on the boss because he's gonna get stunned constantly whenever he's gonna lose all the turn meter, you know, so that's gonna be dangerous. Rask, we're not gonna use the A2, we just want to use the A1 because he's gaining more turn meter, so he gets to rotate more often. And Dragstar, he's gonna do his own thing. Now, let's jump into the run. Then I'm gonna show you my team. We're gonna try to duo it with Seal of the Drake and Dragstar, and yeah, that should work without a problem. I'm pretty convinced that it will work. My Dragstar is actually on lifesteal. He's not on regeneration. Hopefully that's gonna be good enough because he is weak affinity. He's gonna get a lot of weak hits that can create some problems in there. The waves here can be a bit annoying too if you don't have champions to deal with them. That's why running just Seal of the Drake and Dragstar on the waves is something that, do I really need to do this? You know what I mean? So that's going to be a bit painful. But if we're playing around nicely with the lead and we're keeping Dragstar in the lead, Seal of the Drakes, she will always prioritize the revive on Dragstar instead of the wave killer. Like, even if I'm bringing Kale in here just to help me kill the waves is better than nothing. Why? Because it saves you time. That's very important, okay? It's very, very important to save time. So we're at the boss. You've seen I have no accuracy on Seal of the Drake because the A1 constantly debuffs and we don't want to have that either. Or decreasing turn meter, we don't want to have that either. It's not bad to have the resistance on her, so the debuffs that you are landing on the boss are not getting transferred back to Seal of the Drakes, but even if the HP burn or the decrease attack will be landed back on Seal of the Drakes, honestly, it's really not a big deal whatsoever, so it's not something that, oh my god, it's gonna completely change the run, you know? You see, Royal Guard is constantly getting clapped there. I'm just counting on him to do some damage every now and then, you know? Use that takedown, 10% of the boss's HP gets knocked down, so that actually helps us quite a bit. Even though he's slow. You can do it without him, but he's slow. I know everybody's kind of like complaining in a way or another that the game takes too long. You gotta do so much stuff every day in the game, so we want to maximize our runs. We want to be efficient with the time. We just don't want to throw the time away. In my opinion, the most important currency in the entire game world is time, right? Because you're investing time into the game even though you're not spending money. So there we go. Maybe we're getting a takedown now. Not just yet. At least we got the defense down. That's going to get transferred. No, actually not yet. We still have one more round in here. The HP burn helps a lot. Having a Rask in here, it can definitely save Royal Guard every now and then if we're gaining the extra turns because he's going to put his HP over 50% and Griffin is not going to obliterate my my Royal Guard. But I haven't seen much performance out of Royal Guard. I'm keep praising him here, but nothing so far. You see, weak hit, that's actually something that's gonna help a bit. Luckily, we have that decreased speed, or maybe we're gonna finally get a takedown. No, we're still not getting a takedown. What is Royal Guard doing, man? Like, ridiculous. There we go. You see the Griffin is slowly trying to wreck us in here. Now, if you have War Master on your Seal of the Drakes, you're gonna be able to go on like this all day long. The problem is that it's gonna probably take like 15 minutes. That's a pretty long time to deal with one boss, especially multiple times a day, you know? So we have Jarek with 100k damage, Seal with 162. I gotta check if she has War Master. I'm pretty sure she does. Royal Guard, he disappointed us. 394k damage, Rask 518k, and of course Dragstar with the HP burn plus the damage that he dealt on the waves. 2.1 million damage. Very, very nice. Now, let's actually try something else out. So we're going to take that out, that. We're going to go in like this, and I just want to bring in a wave killer. The reason why I'm prioritizing them like this is to have Dragstar at the lead, so like this, Seal of the Drakes will constantly revive him. So, where is my Kale? I'm going to bring Kale in. He's not on Savage. He's on stun. At least he has full crit, so that's kind of like what we need the most. I want to see if Seal of the Drake has a War Master or no. No, she doesn't. So we're actually going to change this Master. You see, that's going to drop some of the resistance there. But let's go in like this. That's going to help us with the damage a bit more, you know. Especially that we're going to try to duo it with 2 free champions. pretty straightforward. I'm not even gonna get the actually, we can go in like this. No more resistance from there. Let's just increase her stats a bit. The heal would have been nice, right? To get the heal from here. I wish I would have went on that, but I don't want to pay 150 gems now. So we're going to go in like this. And we're going to get the Thermometer, counter attack. And this can help us on the waves with the leech, right? With the stun. And these are kind of like her stats right now, you see. I still have 400 resistance, which is more than enough for that boss. And we have War Master this time around. So let's give it a go. Don't put Kayle as lead because she will constantly revive him. You want her to prioritize Dragstar. He is the GOAT in here. Kayle dropping in the damage. He just doesn't care. That's why we brought him in here. He doesn't really have much accuracy or not enough to do something on the boss. I'm just hoping that he's gonna speed up the waves, basically. There we go. Come on, Kayle, do your job. Don't forget, we brought you in here to do your job. So this is something completely free to play, guys. This team right here, okay? How I mentioned, I do have my Great Hall max. You don't need to get so high in stats. You can drop some of the resistance and just focus on survivability. The only thing that will get transferred back to Seal of the Drakes will be HP burn. But that will not be enough to kill our champions, okay? So you won't have to worry about that too much, you know? You could stop the reviving here, but if you do that, I feel like in case if Dragstar will die at some point, you want her to revive Dragstar just to have that HP burn on the boss more often, because it will be pretty important to do damage, you know? And again, to farm this boss a bit faster. But here we go. Easy duo. We're already on a 50% HP on the boss. Seal of the Drakes, she will not only survive because she's a good champion and stuff, but she is strong affinity to the boss, you know? So that helps a bit. There we go. Get that HP burn. There we go, you see? The boss will remove the buffs from us no matter what, you know? Okay, HP burn again. Whenever we're getting the turns, he's gonna get wrecked too. So 84k per HP burn is actually pretty important. You see, whenever she gets to debuff the boss, it's kind of like bad for our business here. But there we go. The boss has 3 turns now till he's gonna transfer the buffs, and hopefully that will be enough to kind of like get the boss down, you know. There we go, another HP burn, and this should be it, hopefully. There we go. 2 minutes and 27 seconds. Dragstar, Seal of the Drakes, and Kayle doing Griffin floor 90. Now, regeneration is actually pretty important of Seal of the Drakes. If you don't have that, I feel like you're not going to be able to do this. But if you don't have a decent regeneration set, most probably you are not ready to move on Doom Tower hard mode. So stick to normal mode till you improve your gear. But this is something at least to have in mind for the future. You know, I'm going to show you the total stats on all the champions at the end. I'm going to show you the team that I'm using to farm this boss now. So this is the whale team, right? The whale team, because it's pretty fast. And here I just want to kill the wave super fast, get at the boss, and kill the boss super fast. So Ninja is such a powerful champion against this boss because he's just melting them. I would prefer to have right here like Tranda to be faster than the rest, so she just one-shots the waves and moves on and on, but it's not the case, you know. So we have to do it slowly and surely, because she's actually the slowest champion in the team here. She's not really gonna help that much at the boss, but she's still gonna do decent work. You see, all of them are magic champions. That's one thing to keep in mind, you know. Rotos is very powerful here, though. So if you put Rotos, Seal of the Drakes, they're gonna carry you all the way to victory. That's about it, you know. Seal of the Drake Ninja again will carry your ass all the way to victory. Whenever we have a ninja, just using that A2, man, it just melts bosses, you know, including this one. having a smite on a legendary champion, like having smite on Seal of the Drake, smile on a Dragstar, is actually so good because it's 250k damage every time it procs, and they get to rotate so often. The boss has multiple skills, you know, and that will activate the smite more often. And there we go. This was a super fast running here. The best time I've got with this team is 1 minute and 15 seconds. Let me quickly show you the stats on all the champions, guys, so you see. If we're gonna go all the way down to Seal of the Drake, having the resistance on her actually wasn't that helpful. If I would have had more HP, it would have been better because she wouldn't have went so low on a stats there. But these are the total stats: 61k HP, 4.2k defense, 252 speed, 440 resistance. Masteries, we've just done them before, so you guys saw what we got in there. The counter attack was decent for a War Master proc here and there, but I feel like getting stat fast, lay of hands, getting healing savior, getting a rapid response, not so much, but getting down to even cycle of magic and getting a spirit haste, it would have been pretty nice, you know, better than the defense masteries. Then we have no one else, but we had Longbeard actually. I used Longbeard in my team, just the build that I have for him, Relentless. I'm using him in faction wars like this and other places. Masteries, offense, and a support tree. But I feel like, yeah, he's not really that important to see like the rest of the champions. Dragstar. My Dragstar is on perception and lifesteal. Now, the damage that he deals by using the A1, the A2 on the actual boss is irrelevant. So many weak hits that honestly is just not gonna be worth it to build him for damage. Build him on a regeneration set is actually better. Give him HP defense. Don't really worry about crit damage, crit rate, and it's gonna be better. But you gotta prioritize accuracy. 330 plus accuracy to be in a safe spot. Speed-wise, not so important. But mainly, what deals the damage on the boss from Dragstar is his passive, right? So you wanna have accuracy, survivability will help Seal of the Drake to don't revive so much. So like this, you're actually gonna farm the boss even faster. But these are pretty much the stats that we have on Dragstar. Masteries. Funny enough, I have War Master instead of Giant Slayer. That's something that I gotta change because this is a triple hitter, so we're actually losing damage. So actually, let's change it now. I'm not even sure why those masteries were on. But yes, sometimes we're doing things that we don't really think through properly, see? So we're going like that, we're getting the accuracy. And going like this. Get this for the passive. Get this on will help. Getting more turn meter will help as well, definitely. And here we can go for that. We're not only using him for this boss. And because we're not only using him on this boss, we can go for Evil Eye. Even though the first time when we're gonna hit the boss, we're gonna get a bit clapped because of the turn meter, is fine. We still wanna get the right masteries on him. So that's Dragstar. What other champions we use? This was Ninja. I have him on Regeneration. Regeneration is such a powerful set, kind of like total stats. I haven't focused damage on him. I focus survivability and accuracy. Masteries. Tier 6 was a War Master on him as well, actually. Support. And we had some other champions in here that actually helped us quite a bit. Let's just move over to Epics and Royal Guard, but he kind of like disappointed us, right? So Savage, this is the Royal Guard that I used, but he really was a bit of a disappointment because he barely dealt any damage for an enemy max HP on the boss. These are the total stats. I use him on the Fire Knight, I use him on the Dark Fae, and Masteries, Offense, and Support. And then we have, where is he hiding? So we have the last two champions. Jarek. So Jarek being on Regeneration is actually very important too. If you want to, you can do a 3 or 2 if you want. Like if you need more help, you can do Jarek, you can do Seal of the Drake, and you can do Dragstar. You can do Seal of the Drake, Dragstar, and you can do Rask. You know, and they're going to do it in a trio, which is just going to be slightly easier than in a duo. So these are the total stats on my Jarek. Accuracy, survivability, a bit of crit rate, but that's mainly for the secret rooms to make sure I'm doing that faster. Masteries, offense, and support tree. War Master as tier 6. And we have Rask, the last champion. He is on Relentless and a speed set. Now I have him at 250 plus speed because he is very important like this for the Bommel as well. So I'm using him on the Bommel on the 3rd rotation of the Doom Tower. Total stats, a ton of HP, 250 speed, full crit rate. Very important to be full crit rate on the champion. No accuracy, no resistance, no crit damage, HP, speed, crit rate. That's what you need to have on a Rask. Masteries, we have an offense and support tree. Now you can go with defense tree if you want instead and get the deterrence, get retribution. That can help you quite a bit as well, but I'm fine with the support tree on him. Tier 6 War Master. So that's pretty much everything that we had for today. You can duo it free to play with 2 champions, guys, okay? Dragstar, Seal of the Drakes. If you are struggling on normal mode, you might not have the stats to get them to where I have them or near that to do hard mode because you do need more accuracy, more survivability. At least you're going to be able to beat normal mode this rotation and kind of like be prepared for the future rotations. But that was all for this video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed it and I'll catch you all soon in the next one. Peace.